Okay, so this video is an insurance video, and I suppose it's the principle of average clause. So we have 5 principles of insurance, one of which is called indemnity. Okay, and if you remember from class, we said with indemnity, the whole idea of it is that we cannot profit from insurance. Okay, so we can't make profit. The whole idea of indemnity that it puts us back in the same financial position that we were in prior to the loss. So I suppose sometimes people decide when they are valuing their asset and they're paying off their insurance, things like that, that they're trying to cut back on their cost. Okay, so you could imagine, like, if I'm paying insurance on a €300,000 house, it's going to cost me more than it is to insure a €200,000 house. Okay, so somebody might come along, they want insurance cover, but they don't want to have to pay the whole amount, and they're just hoping that they'll never have a loss on it, and if they do, that they'll just, hope the insurance company won't realise. Okay, but I suppose the insurance company has this principle of average clause in place then to kind of deal with those situations. So I suppose if we look at this question, girls, the first part of this I think is always very straightforward, but there's no harm in, I suppose, in discussing it, right? So the first part here is Sam McErlin. He's insured his home for €100,000. Okay, so that's what he's insured it for, but it's actually valued at 150,000. Okay, so we're told here that a fire occurred at his home recently. So how much compensation would he receive if the home was completely destroyed by the fire? Okay, so in the case, girls, where we have the house completely destroyed, it would make perfect sense for him just to get back what he put into it. He insured it for 100,000, therefore that's what he'll get back. Okay, so that makes perfect sense. So I would be putting in my figure here of 100,000. Okay, now I suppose it's a little bit less obvious if there's only partial damage done. So, it can happen, like in this particular example, where they only caused 60,000 worth of damage. Okay, now, I mean, you could argue the case that, well, you've covered it for 100,000, so you should get that full 60,000 back. But actually, the insurance company would disagree with you, because they'd be saying, well, you didn't actually proportionately insure the asset. So really, you should only get paid compensation in the proportion that you paid back that you actually insured the asset for. And I suppose that's a slightly complicated way of saying the next thing, which is my formula for average clause. Okay, so I learned my formula for average clause, girls. And basically what it's telling me is that I have my insured value. So what did I insure the asset for? That goes over the actual value of the asset. So what was it actually worth? And I'm going to multiply that by the amount I'm claiming for. Okay, so the amount of damage that was done. So if we go to this particular question, what was I told? I was told that I have 100,000. That's what I insured it for. I'm putting that over what it was valued for originally of 150,000, and I'm multiplying it by the amount that I'm claiming, okay, which is 60,000. Okay, so essentially I'm going to get 2/3 of the value of this back. When I work this out in my calculator, which again, just always do on your calculator, girls, it's 40,000 euros. So that's what I can claim. So how much compensation would he receive? In the case of 60,000, the answer is 40,000. I only insured 2/3 of my house, so therefore I'm really only entitled to 2/3 of whatever damage is done back. Okay, so if I was to explain my answer, and this part of things sometimes we forget about, there can be marks going for this, girls. Like if I was giving this as a 6 marker, I would probably give 4 for the working and then 2 for this part. So I would be saying, under the principle of indemnity, and average clause, I can not profit from insurance. Okay, so I've highlighted my principle. I have highlighted that I know that it's an average clause formula, and I've gotten all of my key information into that. Okay, I hope that helps. Bye.